Yo, what is good? It's that boy Gibbs back with another one. And today, bro, we're coming back a little early. And I'm going to go ahead and try to get this card out early because we're going on the cruise next week. I'm going to go ahead and get the content out early. Bro, we're dealing with Tom Aspinall versus Martian Tybura. And it's really a one-sided match, in my opinion. But, you just never know how Aspinall is going to come back from the knee injury. But you know how we do it on the channel. We're going to go ahead and start from the bottom. So we'll go ahead and slide all the way to the bottom. And we're going to start with Jafil Fajo versus Daniel Barriz. Oh, shit. Didn't pop on. All right, so you got Jafil. He's 5'7". And you got Daniel Barriz. He's 5'6". He's 34 for Barriz, 30 for Fiallo. And I don't know if you guys remember Fiallo's last fight. He almost had Muhammad Makayev in that little knee bar. He tore some ligaments in that knee. It was pretty nasty. So we got actually Jafil Fiallo. He's actually minus 115, minus 114 on some books. And I think he's the rightful favorite. There is things that Daniel could present challenges in some aspects on the feet. But I think Jafil has a slicker grappling. And I just think he has the better gas tank. So for the first fight of the night, we are going to go Jafil Fiallo. I would say, I'm going to go submission. I'll go first round submission. I think he's going to get him out of it in the first round. Next up, we got Bruna Brazil versus Shauna Bannon. And we got Banyan making her UFC debut. She's standing 5'7". She's 29 years old with a 69-inch reach. And you got Bruna Brazil coming off a knockout loss to Denise Gomes. We just seen starts Yasmin Uregi. That was crazy. Bruna Brazil, she's a 29, 65-inch reach. It's crazy. Bruna Brazil, everybody had a whole lot of hype on her, I'm gonna go to her Tapology. I got my computer right here. You go to her Tapology. She was a big favorite. She was a big favorite in that Denise Gomes loss. I'm looking at it. She was a minus 155. So you had to put $155 on her to win 100. She lost. Wet the bed. It's weird. Something that I've noticed that just when women are coming in making a UFC debut, they tend to do good. So I'm going to go Shauna Banyan to win. I'm going to go ahead and say by, I would say decision. Because, I'm looking at her Tapology right now. And she has, usually all her wins come from decision. She does have 2 TKOs. But I'm going to go ahead and go decision. Next fight up, we got Chris Duncan versus Yanel Asmos. And we got Duncan 5'10", Asmos is 5'9", 71-inch reach to 68 for Yanel. And I don't know if you guys remember, but Asmos is coming off a nasty knockout. He had knocked out Sam Patterson. Everybody had him losing. It was crazy. Let's go check them odds out. Literally, everybody had him losing, and he just came in and shocked the world, really. He shocked me. I ain't gonna lie. He shocked me. I did not think he was gonna win. We got Chris Duncan. He's 30 years old, 71-inch reach. Duncan, I just think he's a little bit slow for me. Like, when I was watching the tape, I think he's just a little bit slow. He has power in his punches. He's very hittable. You've seen him cracked on the regional scenes. I remember Chris Duncan had to come behind win from the Contender Series, and he almost got knocked out. So, I don't know. So, minus 105 is looking pretty good for me for the Yanel side. I don't know. That's just one of them things. I might have to go Yanel Asmos by knockout. I don't see this fight going to decision. All right. All right, so we got Penny Chiesa versus Caitlin Vieira, and we got Caitlin Vieira 5'8". Penny is 5'7", both 31, both Brazilian too. I guess I guess Penny's not Brazilian. She just wears the Brazilian colors. Um, you know, honestly, this is a great fight because, you would think Caitlin Vieira is the younger fighter, but she's 31 as well. Um, just watching the film, before watching the film, I thought I was gonna go in saying Penny Chiesa, but I don't know. I just think Penny Chiesa, she's just I just think that she's old, and like when I say old, like I'm gonna go her in topology. She just has a lot of wear and tear. Just looking at her tap, it's been so she hasn't fought. She literally hasn't fought in a whole year, and she took Lena Landsberg to decision. Like, come on now, Lena Landsberg. You can't get Lena Landsberg out of there. I know that's the elbow queen, but goddamn, man, she isn't that tough. But now we have Caitlin Vieira. She's 7-3 in the UFC. Her losses in the UFC come from oh, hold on. Yeah, so they both actually have a loss. They actually both have a loss to Raquel Pennington. She lost to Yana Santos, and she got knocked out by Irene Aldana. I don't know if you guys remember that. That was a devastating knockout. Um, I don't know. I think Smart Money says you have to go Caitlin Vieira here. Next one up, we got Brian Barberina versus Muhammad Murawadov. Excuse me. It's been a while since he fought. Muhammad Muradov versus Brian Barberina, and Muradov is 6'2", with a 75.5-inch reach, and we got Brian Barberina moving up in this fight, and I don't know how that's gonna work out for him because, like, I don't know, man. He fought his whole career at welterweight for the most part, and then moving up at 34. Like, what makes you think that at 34 you're gonna come up and have success? So. And if you just look at Muradov's frame, to Brian Barberina. Barberina's a 70er and still doesn't have abs like Muradov. I gotta go Muhammad Muradov. He's the bigger man. He's the younger man. He's the stronger man. He's the taller man. Everything on paper just says Muhammad Muradov. All right. Let me go ahead and get to the next one because I think that's damn near a confident pick right there. Yep. But next fight up, we got Jamal Pogues versus Michael Parkins. And we got Michael Parkins coming in, making his UFC debut, 6-0. Jamal Pogues, 10-3. This is a very interesting fight because you got a guy, Michael Parkins, coming to make his UFC debut. And he's a big boy. When I went and looked at him, watched the tape, he's a big boy. He has an extensive career in amateurs as well. Sometimes you like that. This guy's never lost in his career. Like, even in the amateurs, never lost. He started his amateur career in 2016. Crispy, I ain't gonna say he has crispy hands, but I would say he's powerful. He's really powerful. And like I said, he's on a 6-fight win streak. He has a kickboxing background as well. Has a couple of knockouts in the kickboxing. He's the bigger man here. Jamal Pogues, if I'm being honest, he just doesn't impress me. He just has not impressed me. Like, he had the Josh Parisian fight. He looked lackluster. I don't know. He's slow. Like, he's a 205er. Like, the kid fought at 205 for his career. Like, he's a real heavyweight, but he's not a real heavyweight. Like, that's just how I feel. I don't know. Fuck it. Give me the underdog. Go ahead and give me Michael Parkins to go ahead and retain his O and then move on to 7-0. Next up, a fight that I'm actually looking really forward to. We got Mark DeCasey versus Joel Alvarez. And we got Joel Alvarez coming in as a minus 155 favorite. And he's the bigger man, 6'3" to Casey's 5'10". Both 30 years old. Reach 77 to Casey's 73. I don't know. What I will say is we did see that style. We've seen Joel come in and knock out a guy of the same style that Mark could probably be presenting and knocking out Thiago Moises. But then we also seen him get grinded out and beat up and just scraped by fucking Armin Sarukian. So, I mean, a minus 155 tag, I can see that because, I mean, if you had that tag flipped, the money'd be all over Joel Alvarez, so I understand it. But I think Mark DeCasey's is honestly the better fighter here. Like, if we're watching this fight from a vacuum, taking a knockout out of the fight, out of the equation, I think Mark DeCasey's has the better gas tank. I think that he's not the longer fighter, but he has the sharper hands sometimes. You know, I just think the bone crusher could crush his bones. I don't know. I might be going back-to-back underdogs. Go ahead and give me the bone crusher and Mark DeCasey's. But I would say tread lightly on that fight, though. All right. So, next fight up. We got Danny Roberts. Where is it? I'm trying to pull it up on my Tapology as well. Did they cancel this fight? I'm not even seeing. Let me see if they canceled this fight before I even waste my time. Oh, they didn't cancel it. It's out of order here on Tapology. So we got Danny Roberts, Hot Chocolate Roberts. Danny Hot Chocolate Roberts versus Johnny Parsons. And we got Johnny Parsons making his debut. He goes by the Sluggernaut. So, if you're unfamiliar with Johnny Parsons' game, man, he's coming to knock you out. He's really coming to knock you out. He does have decisions on his career, but he's really coming to scrape you, man. It's not a good thing whenever you're in there with Mr. Parsons. And his losses, he can be finished too. He's been finished out of 2 out of 3 of his fights. Yeah. But I ain't gonna lie to you. Danny Hot Chocolates has been looking washed up. His last couple fights, he's been looking legit washed up. And it's legit hard to even to be able to be like, oh yeah, not Parsons, but Hot Chocolate Roberts is gonna come in here and get a dub. It's absolutely hard to just come in here and say that. Having said all that, I'm gonna go ahead and look at these odds real quick. So the odds aren't up yet. Let me go check the odds real quick. Let me go bet MMA odds. Okay, we gotta pick them here. That's crazy. Shoot, man, pick them. I gotta go ahead and take Parsons. I have to. But yeah, having said all that, I guess we shall move on to the next fight. Yeah, I think that's it. And this has been a long card, I must say. Pretty hefty card. So next up, we got Davey Grant versus Daniel Marcos, and this is a great fight. We had Daniel Marcos. He came in. He got him a finish. I believe it actually went to decision. Let me check. Versus what was it? Cameron Stamen, I believe. No, it was Simon. Oh yeah, it was Simon Oliveira. No, it was Simon Oliveira, not Stamen. See, that's where I got confused. It was Simon Oliveira. He went and exposed Simon Oliveira earlier this year. Davey Grant, man, tough veteran. You know, you just never know. You never know what that man's coming in here to bring. Very interesting fight. Daniel Marcos, he's trying to stand and bang. We got Davey Grant trying to stand and bang. I think someone's going to get hurt. That's what I'm predicting. Someone's going to get hurt. Yeah. Yeah, someone's going to get hurt. Just going through the tail of the tape, we got Daniel Marcos 5'7", Davey Grant 5'8", to Davey Grant's 37, to Daniel Marcos is 30. Yeah, we just got Daniel Marcos, the undefeated fighter, the younger fighter. He's not the taller fighter, but height does not always matter. I don't know. I'm gonna have to go with Daniel Marcos. Well, I do know. I'm gonna go Daniel Marcos in a pretty, how I put this, a pretty sketchy fight. Because let's say Daniel Marcos lost his last fight, I could very well see Davey Grant being a minus 120, minus 130 favorite. So, yeah, you just never know. Josh Culibao versus Lerone Murphy. And I can't lie, this is actually a sleeper fight. We got Josh Culibao coming in at 11-1-1. Lerone Murphy coming in at 12-0-1. And I don't know if you guys remember that fight with Gabriel Santos with Lerone Murphy, but I went back and watched it. I think Lerone Murphy should be 11-1. I think they should have the same record. In my mind, they should have the same record. And I actually have a rule: if you barely won your last fight, then you're getting faded. And if it's kind of interesting, you look at Josh Culibao's record, you look at Lerone Murphy's record, you put a loss on Lerone's record, then you put a win on Josh Culibao's record, they have the same record. So Lerone Murphy has the shiny record, but he's one loss away from not having so much of a shiny record. I think Lerone Murphy is overrated. That's really what I'm getting at here. Josh Culibao on tape has just shown that he can stand and bang, he can wrestle with you, he has the cardio to hold up for 15 minutes. Not saying Lerone doesn't, but somebody has to have a better gas tank, and when it comes to gas tank, I think Josh Culibao is the A side. I know that we're in London and you could have some sketchy scorecards, man, but I just think Josh Culibao is the better fighter. I don't know. Someone's just telling me Josh Culibao. I'm going to go Josh Culibao by decision. But tread lightly. Next up, we got Jai Herbert versus Fierce Ziam. And they're both 6'1". We got Jai Herbert, who's 35. I didn't know he was that old. Jai Herbert's getting up there. And then we have 26 for Ziam. But Jai Herbert has a 2-inch reach advantage. He might need it in a fight like this. They're both sitting there trying to bang. That's both what they're wanting to do here. I think ZM is the cleaner striker. Like, I definitely think ZM is the younger fighter by almost 10 years. I don't understand this line. Maybe they're anticipating a robbery or something. I don't know. Very interesting fight. That's all I'll say. I'm gonna go ZM though to go ahead and win by decision though. I do like Jai Herbert. It was tough seeing him get knocked out by Ilia Topuria in London a year ago. Probably almost like a year ago from this day. He was out for like 5 minutes. It was really scary. But I think that, I don't think ZM has the biggest knockout power, but I don't know. He could find that chin and find that mark and get him out of there. But I'm going to go ZM by decision just to be safe. But nothing's safe in MMA. Paul Craig versus Andre Muniz. And Andre Muniz is coming off his first loss in the UFC. It was pretty one-sided fight. He couldn't get the fight to the ground. And Brendan Allen, being the well-rounded fighter, well-versed striker that he is as well, he ended up clipping him and putting him out. So, yeah, man. This is going to be a good fight, though. We got a grappler's delight. In my mind, either one of these fighters have any striking to their name. So, I just think he's going to be a striker's delight, and I don't know. You can't tell me that Paul Craig's not going to be the bigger man coming down from 205. We have to see what Paul Craig looks like, of course, because you just never know. But I don't know. Something's telling me Paul Craig's going to get it done. I don't know. Craig likes fighting at the O2, though. I've noticed that. I remember last time versus Ostermeyer, he sold me. I had one clean lineup, and he was in a lineup that won me $1,000. It was sucks. Thanks, Craig. You could have won me way more, but it's all good. I think Paul Craig is gonna get it done here, though. I can't believe I said that, but I think Paul Craig's gonna get it done here at a plus 160 tag. Yep, that's gonna be it. So next up, we got Nathaniel Wood versus Andre Touchy-Feely. And it's gonna be a good fight, man. I think Nathaniel Wood is a guy that people have been sleeping on. He's been really showing that he can hang with these guys. If we go ahead and look at Nathaniel Wood, the people he's fought in the UFC, I mean, he's not bad. Like what's his record? I'm asking you guys, what's his record in the UFC? Do you guys even know? A lot of people don't know. He's 6-2. That's the answer. Nathaniel Wood 6-2 in the UFC, and that's not bad. I mean, if we go look at the people he's lost to, in one, I remember his UFC debut. He had won against Johnny Eduardo with a Darce choke. And then finished Andre Ewell. Then finished then got a win versus Jose Alberto Quinones. That was also a finish. Then he got grounded pounded by John Dodson. John Dodson is not a guy you want to be losing to, I must admit. I'm not saying that he's a scrub or anything. That's just not the loss that you want to have on your record. And I think it's pretty interesting. Nathaniel Wood was scheduled to fight Umar Nurmagomedov. That wouldn't have been bad. That wouldn't have been well for him. Then he was scheduled to fight Jonathan Martinez as well, and that fell through. Let's see what happened there. Nathaniel Wood injury. Umar Nurmagomedov withdrew. Then he lost to Casey Kinney. And then he beat Charles Rosa. And then he beat up Charles Jourdain. I think it's crazy how they were gonna put Lerone Murphy versus Nathaniel Wood together. Aren't they both? Yeah, I thought they're both from London. They were gonna put them together. That's funny. Shoot, I think I'd have probably had Wood in that fight, but I just think in this point in Andre Fili's career, being 33, he's in a must-win stage now. Like, he can't be taking too many losses anymore. 22-9, 5-11, 5-6 for Nathaniel Wood's height. Yeah, I don't know, man. I don't think Andre Fili can afford to lose another fight. But I'm gonna go Nathaniel Wood, unfortunately, because momentum is a real thing. Next fight up, we got Molly Meatball McCann versus Yulia Stoliarenko. And we got Yulia Stoliarenko, she's 5'7", Molly Meatball 5'4". And we actually got Yulia Stoliarenko. She's actually coming down to flyweight. She missed weight. She missed weight last time. So how are you gonna miss weight last time and then you're gonna go to flyweight? Like, come on now. Like, it doesn't work like that. Excuse me. Oh my God. But yeah, no. Yulia Stoliarenko, I have mad respect for Yulia Stoliarenko. I predicted her armbar over Jessica Rose Clark. That was the only win in the UFC as well. So that was a good return on that fight. Molly Meatball, she just got embarrassed by Erin Blanchfield, and that fight wasn't competitive, if we're being honest. But a fight versus Aaron Blanchfield is not going to be too competitive with anybody, if we're being honest. But she didn't put much of an account for herself, and that was really the issue here. But I think that should be able to get it done versus Yulia Stoliarenko, as long as she can keep the fight going, standing, and just avoid the arm bar. Because if we go look at, if I'm being honest though, because if we go look at Molly Meatball's career, I'm gonna go look real quick. Don't worry. Sorry guys, I'm yawning. All right, so Molly Meatball, if I'm not mistaken, she has. Let's see. Yeah, Molly Meatball. She has two. She already has two finishes of submission on her career. So she's been finished twice, and a girl like Yulia Stoliarenko, that's what she wants. She wants to fight on the ground. So you just never know. I think there is a world where Yulia Stoliarenko takes her down to the ground and taps her out. There's a world where that happens. There is a world where that happens. Do I think that's going to happen next Saturday at the O2 Arena? I don't know. I don't think so. But you just never know. You literally just never know. I'm going to go Molly Meatball by TKO in the first round. But very interesting fight. Next up, we got Marcin Tybura versus Tom Aspinall. We have Tom Aspinall coming in at 12-3. We have Marcin Tybura coming in at 24-7. 6'5" for Aspinall, 6'3" for Marcin. 37 years old for Marcin. And then we got 30 years old for Tom Aspinall, both 78-inch reach. So really, Tom Aspinall, man, he got hurt in his last fight. As you see, it was versus Blades. He got hurt in the first round. Literally, you see in the first 15 seconds. It was crazy why it lasted. I will say that. And that was the first time he had lost in the UFC. So I don't know. They got Tom Aspinall as a striker, but he's also a mixed martial artist as well. Marcin Tybura is your classic mixed martial artist. But I think Tom Aspinall has that nuke. He has that he literally has that one shot change in power, and I think he finds the mark. He did an interview with BT Sports talking about he feels like knocking somebody out, and usually I don't listen to interviews and run with it, but when he says that, man, you gotta believe him. You gotta believe that man when he says a knockout. That's all I'll say. Shoot, I'm going Tom Aspinall by first or second round TKO. So I'm gonna go ahead and go from the bottom, and I'm gonna go ahead and give you my picks again. I got Jalil Fialho. I got him to win by submission. Then I got Bannon to win by decision. Then I got Chris Duncan to win by knockout. I said Chris Duncan. I got Yanil Ashmoose to win by knockout. Then I got Kenny Piazza, Penny Kenizat to lose. I got Caitlin Vieira to win by motherfucking decision. Then I have Mohamed Miradov to win by decision. Then I have Michael Parkin to win by knockout. I think he's knocking out Jamal Pogues. Next up, I got Mark DeCasey's to win by decision. But that's gonna be a close fight. Next up, then I got Parsons to win. I got Parsons to win by knockout. I think he's knocking Danny Roberts out. Daniel Marcos, I think he's going to win by decision. I don't think he's getting Davey Grant out of there. Really, really tough vet. I don't think he's going to get him out. I got Josh Kulabau by decision. Very close fight. And then I have Fares Ziam to win by... I want to say decision. Then I have Paul Craig to win by decision, by submission. Paul Craig by submission. Then I have Nathaniel Wood to win by decision. Yulia Stoliarenko is going to go ahead and lose by TKO, but I do think that she could get the arm bar. Molly Meatball by knockout, though. And then I got Tom Aspinall in the second round. I think he's going to get the second round knockout. And that's it. UFC London at the O2 is going to be a great night of fights. Make sure you have your popcorn going, man. It's going to be an early fight card. Starts at 11 a.m. So no beer, bring your popcorn, man. I'll see you on the next one.